Hi cuties and welcome to another day of Litmas! Sorry, I have lost my voice again this year. Today's video, there's been some restructuring, so I needed to film a little bit of a oopsie, let's change this a bit. So we are going to be doing my new TBR game for 2026. It is not nearly as intense as TBR Changer was. TBR Changer just ended up not really working for me as much as I loved the concept of it. It just didn't work out. So I have two new TBR games this coming year. One of them will be explained in this video, and the other will be explained in another video. One of them is my regular, monthly sort of TBR style, and the other one is a year long in an effort to do something else kind of TBR. So we are going to be playing, it's a very standard game. It's going to be doing 8 spins on my spinner wheel because you guys voted that in a random poll that I did on my Discord. And that's basically, it's going to have some prompts on it. We're going to spin the wheel 8 times. I will pick a book randomly. It will always be random, essentially. So whatever category it is, I will not choose it of my own free will. Essentially, it will be a random number generated from the topic that I get. So that's this TBR game video. I originally filmed them as one, and I realized how long it was going to be and decided to split it into 2. Hence this lovely change. So that's what's happening right here, right now. We're going to get into just the regular TBR game. This is the beginning TBR for January. The rules are fairly simple. I just spin it 8 times, and I need to complete it in January. It is the January TBR game. We're going back to monthlies because I feel like that helps with the pressure. But if I don't complete that TBR within the month, within that time frame, we're going to have a problem.
So you may notice the current TBR spinner wheel has a bunch of tape all over it. That's because we're going to choose the prompts from this bag. So in our red space right at the top there, our first prompt is 2026 picks. Our next prompt is being pulled from a TikTok filter. Our yellow prompt will be a 2024 acquisition. Our light green or yellowy green, our yellow green prompt will be a retelling of some sort. Our light green shall be a book from Spiffbo. Or medium green or Kelly green will be an indie book. And our dark green will be an Instagram pick. Our light blue, yes, our pastel blue, our baby blue, will come from the viewer choice pool. Now the light blue, a book I was gifted. And dark blue whilst be a 2025 acquisition. Our light pink, notice there's no purple on this, pre-orders. And finally, our dark pink, a Kindle book. Now there are many, many more prompts in here, so we will replace as we go. Okay, spin number 1. Is an indie book. Now that we've gotten an indie, this baby comes off, and we replace with a NetGalley arc. My thing is very wobbly. A gifted book. A book that was gifted to me. Let's take off the gifted and we're placing that with random number TBR. This is essentially the new version of a TBR bag because I got tired of constantly making those cards. Bin number 3. It's right on there. Oh, it's a Kindle book. Oh no. My least favorite thing to do is a Kindle book. All right, we are replacing that with a book I need to read for our fantasy. Spin number 4. A TikTok filter book. Replacing that with a book I got from Second and Charles. Spin number 5. An Instagram pic. And we will replace that with a book I got from Pango. Spin number 6. A 2025 acquisition. And we will replace that with a book I got from Book Outlet. Spin number 7. Was a 2024 acquisition. And we will replace that with a 2026 release. Final spin. A Net Galliarch. For the next round, we're replacing that for Thirsty Vlog is what's going up. So now this board is reset for the next round. All right. Now, because I operate on, I need much more specificity and I need other things to tell me what to do because I have very bad decision fatigue. All of those prompts I can enter into my spreadsheet. I can filter and sort, and then I'm going to random number generate what the book will be. So I will sort everything into just showing my indies. I will count up how many there are, random number generate that. This is the book. Cool. If I fail to complete this TBR within the month of January, I will suffer a consequence. And this consequence will be determined by you and the mods. For the first round, it will be the mods because I asked them. But you in the comments can also submit punishments of varying time. We're doing the mods first so you guys can get an idea of what that punishment can look like. But it really can be anything. It can just be a challenge that you think would be really funny for me to do. One of my mods literally said, do a cartwheel. And I haven't done a cartwheel in probably a decade. So we'll see if I can still do one if I fail this TBR, which I'm not going to fail. I will never let you get me. Let's go pick the books. 2 of them I can't pick right now because we got to do that live. Obviously, we have to TikTok and an Instagram. A very first book for the indies was, I had so many, but it picked number 43. And these are indies that I own. That's what it's picking them, not from my entire library of them. We have Seer of the Strait by Drea Talley. I remember getting this at a Mile High Con. Or was it a cosign? It might, one of the two. But lovely author. She's super great. Here's what this book is about. Vasi, Watcher of the Strait, southernmost of the Kingdoms of Dawn, is a place of tradition. Gifted seer and third-generation witch, Karis Arslan keeps her late grandmother's shop and spends her days selling herbs, tinctures, and reading the cards for the rich merchants of the great families and the nobles of the 3 houses. When a favorite client invites her to a party at Watcher's castle, Karis senses that she needs to be there, that something important will happen. When the party ends with Karis casting the cards for the heir of the strait, she sees that a danger lurks on the horizon, racing towards them from across the sea. A seer's visions are not to be ignored, and Karis is pulled from her shop, from everything she's ever known, to assume the position of the Lord Seer and advise the Lord of the Strait and the 3 houses. Days later, a ship unlike anything the kingdom has seen is spotted off the coast. It finally arrives in the harbor, bearing an ambassador and soldiers from the long, silent empire to the south. They claim to come to trade and learn, but the spirits have shown Karis the ambition that drives them. Karis can see they will not stop until Vasi and all the kingdoms of Dawn have fallen to the Southern Empire. Karis's power is growing, but her training was incomplete. Will strength alone be enough to stop them? Dun, dun, dun! There we go. For a book that was gifted to me, it picked number 17, don't laugh. That was actually a middle grade book called Unseen Magic by Emily Lloyd Jones. This should be a very fun, cute time. I do like Emily Lloyd Jones writing. Never read a middle grade by her though. So here's what this one's about. For 11-year-old Finn, Aldemir is home, and it has been for the past 3 years. She knows how to find the vanishing tea shop, she knows the ravens must be fed, and she knows all the other rules for living in this magic-infused town. It's the first place she's ever lived where she feels safe, and the first place where she's found a way to deal with her constant fears. A cup of tea from the tea shop makes them melt away, at least for a few weeks. All it costs is a single memory, and there are plenty of things that Finn would rather not remember. But then, a visit to the tea shop goes terribly wrong. Finn accidentally creates a shadow self who seems intent on destroying Aldemir. If Finn wants to save her home, she will have to face her fears, literally, and find the courage that has always been inside her. That seems like it will be a very cute, very good, like, growth story. Very fun. For our Kindle book, it picked number 65. Number 65, and that is The Heir by Claudia Klein. This was also a Spiffbo book. I believe a Spiffbo entrant. I don't remember fully, but it's definitely in Spiffo if you need more competition books. Here is what this one is about. Sisters separated by war, brothers divided by hate. To stop their world being torn apart by darkness, will they find a way to unite? A royal rivalry divides the two princes of Erlingwe. A bloody battlefield separates the two princesses of Arbonad. And a creature of darkness waits to destroy them all. When Kat's father, the king of Arbonad, tells her and her sister to flee the coming war, only one of them listens. Determined to help her army, Kat instead disguises herself as a boy and joins the ranks as an archer. But the battle turns bloodier than anyone anticipated, and before she can escape, Kat is taken captive by the crown prince of Erlingwe. I don't know if that's how you say the name. As second in line, Prince Thomas isn't the one taking the throne, but he knows he would make a better king than his power-hungry older brother. So when he finds Kat as his brother's prisoner, they begin an unlikely alliance to seek the sinister new king's demise. But little do they know, a darker power is at work behind the new king, and civil war has stolen safety away from Kat's sister. Can they unite forces in time to stop their world being torn apart? Fantasy. It is time to do a TikTok filter. So I'm going to start screen recording on here. What's happened to the filters on TikTok? Okay, we're changing because there's no actual filters anymore. It's so weird. We're just going to scroll book talk.
Cozy
Thrown in the Dark, boom.
Where the villains have to team up together, so we have forced proximity.
Thrown in the Dark is the first book that came up. There it is. That was also a Spiffo book, if memory serves. Let's look it up here. This is a book that I believe it's Indian and got picked up. So here's what it's about. His dark destiny awaits, and nothing will stand in his way except her. Dark Lord Demon Spawn prophesied realm destroyer with a demon for a father, Damien Maleficus. Bloodthorn's destiny could be nothing but nefarious, and with the completion of his most vicious spell, Damien is on the cusp of fulfilling the evil inevitability all of his dark machinations have led to. And then her, bubbly, obnoxious blonde, harboring secrets of her own, a tiny yet troublesome thief, calling herself Amma, completely upsets Damien's malevolent plans when she mistakenly gets chained to his side through magic, forcing him to drag her across the realm. Killing her would fix things, of course, but the nauseatingly sweet Amma proves herself useful on Damien's unholy crusade, and then proves herself the source of something even more sinister. Feelings. Will Damien be forced to abandon his villainous birthright to help the tender thorn in his side, or will he manage to overcome the virtue Amma insists on inspiring and instead cut it out at the heart? I've heard about this book. I've seen a lot of new editions of it coming out. I don't own a copy of it yet, but I think there should be an audio now that it's been all traditionally published. Let's go on to our Instagram pick, where we will scroll Instagram a little bit. First Law Trilogy it's a Kickstarter. That is the first thing I see. The Blade itself is the first one. It's a Joe Abercrombie. I've never read Joe Abercrombie before. Here's what it's about. Hogan Ninefingers, infamous barbarian, has finally run out of luck. Caught in one feud too many, he's on the verge of becoming a dead barbarian, leaving nothing behind him but bad songs, dead friends, and a lot of happy enemies. Nobleman Captain Giselle Dan Luthar, dashing officer and paragon of selfishness, has nothing more dangerous in mind than fleecing his friends at cards and dreaming of glory in the fencing circle. But war is brewing, and on the battlefields of the frozen north, they fight by altogether bloodier rules. Inquisitor Glokta, crippled turned torturer, would like nothing better than to see Giselle come home in a box. But then Glokta hates everyone. Cutting treason out of the Union, one confession at a time, leaves little room for friendship. His latest trail of corpses may lead him right to the rotten heart of government. If he can stay alive long enough to follow it, enter the wizard Bayaz. A bald old man with a terrible temper and a pathetic assistant, he could be the first of the Magi. He could be a spectacular fraud, but whatever he is, he's about to make the lives of Logan, Giselle, and Glokta a whole lot more difficult. Murderous conspiracies rise to the surface, old scores are ready to be settled, and the line between hero and villain is sharp enough to draw blood. I mean, it looks interesting at the very least, but I don't know. Next one was for a 2025 acquisition. Randomly chosen again. The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen by KJ Charles. Here's what this one's about. Abandoned by his father, Gareth Inglis grew up lonely, prickly, and well used to disappointment. Still, he longs for a connection. When he meets a charming stranger, he falls head over heels until everything goes wrong and he's left alone again. Then, Gareth's father dies, turning the shabby London clerk into Sir Gareth, with a grand house on the remote Romney Marsh and a family he doesn't know. The Marsh is another world, a strange, empty place notorious for its ruthless gangs of smugglers, and one of them is dangerously familiar. Joss Doomsday has run the Doomsday smuggling clan since he was a boy. When the new baronet, his old lover, agrees to testify against Joss's sister, Joss acts fast to stop him. Their reunion is anything but happy, yet after the dust settles, neither can stay away. Soon, all Joss and Gareth want is the chance to be together, but the bleak, bare marsh holds deadly secrets, and when Gareth finds himself threatened from every side, the gentleman and the smuggler must trust one another, not just with their hearts, but with their lives. This is a queer historical book, by the way. I love KJ Charles writing. They're always so fun. A 2024 acquisition. Now, technically, I acquired this book. I had to unhaul it because it is a book I have access to on audiobook, and when I was doing all my moving, I got rid of those. But it is 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. This is the women's war just as much as it is the men's. They have waited long enough for their turn. This was never the story of one woman or two. It was the story of them all. In the middle of the night, a woman wakes to find her beloved city engulfed in flames. 10 seemingly endless years of conflict between the Greeks and the Trojans are over. Troy has fallen. From the Trojan women whose fates now lie in the hands of the Greeks, to the Amazon princess who fought Achilles on their behalf, to Penelope awaiting the return of Odysseus, to the 3 goddesses whose feuds started it all. These are the stories of the women whose lives, loves, and rivalries were forever altered by this long and tragic war. A woman's epic, powerfully imbued with new life. 1,000 Ships puts the women, girls, and goddesses at the center of the Western world's greatest tale ever told. Cool, cool, cool. And finally, for a NetGalley arc, we got the Jasad Crown, which is the sequel to the Jasad Heir. Therefore, it is a sequel. So, I don't want the synopsis to give away any spoilers, but I am very excited to be reading this because I really did like the first book in the series, so I'm very excited. But there it is. That is my 8 books. I have 31 days to read them all, or else suffer a punishment, and the Eldritch Gods will get me. Let's get rocking and rolling, and I will see you for Litmas tomorrow. Bye.